to the University of New England and the celebration ceremony for the awards in the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Graduates, friends, family and the UNE community, may I ask you now to please stand for the entry of the academic procession and the Chancellor of the University of New England, and remain standing to join us in singing the National Anthem. Thank you.
Start to think out loud. There is longing in the sound. There is more I could be. The darkness I leave for a place I've never been. It's been calling out to me. That is where I should be. Never carried days on our own. Now it's up to us to know the weight of being so much more. We will find ourselves on the road. We march till the midnight sun. We will light our way with our lanterns on. And we march till we dawn. We will light our way with our lanterns on. As we walk out without question, without doubt, in the light that we have found, it is finally clear. And our day has come. We will stand for who we are. We are ready, we are young. We have nothing to fear. Never carried days on our own. And now it's up to us to know the weight of being so much more. We will find ourselves on the road. So we march till we meet the dawn. We will light our way with our lanterns on. And on we march till we meet the dawn. We will light our way with our lanterns on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Please be seated. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land that we call New England and show our respects to their elders past and present. It is my great pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, especially our graduates. I'm glad you've come back to celebrate properly. I'm glad you've come back to celebrate with your fellow graduates and people from your schools and faculties. It's a mark in life that you've actually, it's happened, and because of COVID, it couldn't. To our special guest, Emeritus Professor Annabelle Duncan, today's occasional address speaker, Deputy Chancellor Jan McClelland, Professor Simon Evans, Interim Vice-Chancellor, Mrs Cheryl Chant, Esquire Bedell, my fellow council members and university community members, and you, our graduates and your families, a special welcome. I declare this ceremony open, ladies and gentlemen, and ask Professor Joe Fraser to make acknowledgement to country.
Thank you, Chancellor. I'd like to acknowledge our distinguished members and guests of the university and every one of you present here today. You're taking part in a process of a knowledge system a couple of thousand years in the making, and it's evident in our regalia, in the roles and positions of the people here today, and it's occurring on the lands of the Anaiwan people with a significantly different knowledge system and ways of knowing things that are important in this space. Our song lines, connection to country, a kinship system that connects people to country. I'd like to acknowledge the Anaiwan and the place that we're on, our country today, and I'd also like to acknowledge the custodians and our elders. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe, very much. I now call upon the Interim Vice-Chancellor, Professor Simon Evans, to present Emeritus Professor Annabelle Duncan as today's occasional address speaker.
Chancellor, Deputy Chancellor. Emeritus Professor Annabelle Duncan served as the Vice-Chancellor at the University of New England from 2014 to 2019. Originally from New Zealand, she grew up in Nelson and is a microbial ecologist by training. After leaving school, Annabelle enrolled in a pharmacy course at the University of Otago before switching to the sciences and majoring in microbiology. In 1982, Annabelle moved to Australia and took up a PhD at La Trobe University, where she studied the interactions between microorganisms, algae, and corals. This was followed by a postdoctoral fellowship at Monash University, where she worked in a project team alongside Monash and CSIRO scientists investigating the biological removal of phosphate from sewage. Professor Duncan spent 16 years working for CSIRO, initially as a research scientist and later in science management. She was the chief of CSIRO molecular science for 6 years. During this time, she led the division. She supervised the spin-off of 6 startup companies. From 1990 to 2005, Professor Duncan acted as an advisor to the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade on biological weapons control and represented Australia at international arms control meetings, as well as serving as a biological weapons inspector with the United Nations in Iraq. In 1996, Annabelle was awarded the Public Service Medal for services to disarmament. She was also awarded an honorary Doctorate of Science from Murdoch University in 2005 and from La Trobe University in 2019. Between 2005 and 2008, Professor Duncan worked as the Deputy Director and Chief Operating Officer at the Bio21 Institute at Melbourne University. From 2008 to 2010, she was the Executive Director of Science Collaboration and Transition in the Centre for Agricultural Bioscience, a joint venture between La Trobe University and the Victorian Department of Primary Industries. In 2018, she was also elected as a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Technology and Engineering. Professor Duncan joined the University of New England in late 2010, initially as Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research, and later becoming Deputy Vice-Chancellor. She was appointed Vice-Chancellor of the University in 2014, serving with distinction in this role until mid-2019. As Vice-Chancellor and CEO, Annabelle led the development of the UNE Strategic Plan 2016 to 2020, which recognised the importance of UNE in regional communities, the need to build upon its strengths, and the need to transform in some areas to remain a market leader. Some examples of her success include large agricultural development projects and partnerships in Indonesia, and a project promoting higher education and teacher training partnerships in Bhutan. In 2020, the Council of the University granted the title of Emeritus Professor to Annabelle in recognition of her service and contributions to the university. After retirement from UNE, Professor Duncan continues to serve on state and national bodies and is currently the chair of the New South Wales Physical Sciences Fund and chair of the Sydney School of Entrepreneurship. She believes in the transformative power of education and is passionate about removing barriers that prevent many people from rural, regional, and disadvantaged communities from achieving their education goals. In summary, Annabelle Duncan is an outstanding scholar and leader who has made impressive contributions to her discipline, to public service, to the community, and to this university. Chancellor, graduates, guests, I now have the distinct honour to invite Emeritus Professor Annabelle Duncan to give today's occasional address.
Are they at the right space? Can you hear me okay up the back? Thank you. May I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we gather today, the Anawan people. I pay my respect to the elders, past, present, and I extend that respect to any Aboriginal people here today or watching on the live feed. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, dedicated staff of UNE, guests, and especially you, the graduands, this is your day. This is the day you finally get to hold that precious certificate that's waiting for you up here behind the Chancellor. And that's what you're here for today. You're not really here to come and listen to speeches. You don't want me to go on for too long. I've often thought, when I've been asked to say a few words, that I should take a page out of J.K. Rowling's books on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And some of you may well remember Dumbledore's welcome to the students at the beginning of the new school year. I do plan to quote it in full. My apologies, Chancellor. The whole speech will start here. Welcome to the new year in Hogwarts. Before we begin our banquet, I would like to say a few words. And here they are. Nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak. And then he sat down. If I was to take that approach, I guess the words that I would use would be congratulations, work, fun, balance, and integrity. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit down now. The speech is part of the ritual of the graduation, and rituals are really, really important. They mark significant events in our lives, and they mark the completion of a significant, marking the completion of a significant course of study is certainly significant. In Australia, we tend to think of graduation as the end of study, but in the US, this ceremony is referred to as commencement. It's the start of your career. And although those concepts of study ending and career starting up are no longer as meaningful as they were with lifelong learning and multiple career changes, I do like the sentiment behind the idea of being a start, not an end. But what is it the start of, and how will your career unfold? That's largely up to you and your choices, with a little bit of luck, both good and bad, thrown in. Let me come back to Harry Potter. The books chronicle a classic fight between good and evil. And while true evil exists, and we see evidence of it every time we log onto a news site, most of us, thankfully, will never personally experience true existential evil. Real life for most of us is far more nuanced. But while we may not be choosing between good and evil, we are constantly choosing between good and not so good outcomes. And if I can quote Dumbledore once again, it's our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. And of course, we make choices constantly, and we all make bad choices sometimes. And most of the time, that doesn't matter. When you decided what to wear to graduation today, some of you may have elected to wear high heels. Maybe having walked over the bull lawn, you wish that you had worn flats. Does that choice matter? No, of course not. Chalk it up to experience and wear, like me, flats next time you walk across the Bull lawn. It's much easier, believe me. Have you made the right choice in your career? I hope that today you all believe you have, because that's a bit sad if you got to this stage and you don't think so. But the evidence does suggest that at least some of you will want to change your career in the future. I certainly did. The change from pharmacy to microbiology was just one of many times that I changed my mind. It could be expensive if you choose to, if you have to reskill. There were no fees when I went through, and I'm very lucky about that. But if you do have to reskill, you'll be wiser, you'll be more well-rounded, and you and your future employers will benefit from the greater breadth of experience that you'll bring to your second career. So really, if you have made the wrong choice, there's not a problem there either. Again, chalk it up to experience and just move on. But sometimes a bad choice can have devastating effects from which you may never recover. I'll go a little bit more highbrow now in my next quote, and I won't use Dumbledore. I'm going to quote John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy. In 1961, he gave a speech to the Massachusetts State Legislature. Try saying that quickly. And he said in that, when, at some future date, the High Court of History sits in judgment on each one of us, our success or failure in whatever office we hold will be measured by the answers to 4 questions. Were we truly people of courage? Were we truly people of judgment? Were we truly people of integrity? And were we truly people of dedication? And I want to look at those 4 attributes, but not in that order. We will start with courage. If you want to make a difference, you've got to have courage. None of us, however, can be courageous all the time. You do have to pick your battles. But you do have to have the courage of your convictions, the courage to do the right thing rather than the easy thing, the courage to speak truth to power, and something that can be even harder, the courage to speak truth to your friends. I now go back to Dumbledore. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. Will you be courageous when it really matters? Let's move on to judgment. We all like to think we demonstrate good judgment, but the fact is we all make mistakes sometimes. And judgment does, of course, improve with experience. The theory, usually, though not all universally true, is that judgment improves with age, but even the wise make mistakes. The nature of the mistake and the way we deal with it influence how you and your reputation will recover from the mistake. Will you own that mistake? Let's move on to dedication. You're all pretty dedicated people. You wouldn't be sitting here today if you weren't dedicated. But dedication is not enough. It really depends on what you're dedicated to. Dedication to a life of crime is probably not particularly praiseworthy. Dedication to accumulating wealth, it's not a bad thing in and of itself, but if it's the only thing which you are dedicated to and you pursue that regardless of the consequences, that can be a very bad thing. And the news is full of examples of people who are thus dedicated. Lehman Brothers, a long time ago, Enron, the big banks more recently, Tesla, Facebook, I won't go on. All were dedicated to company profits and personal gain, no matter the cost to stakeholders in the community. What about dedication to personal power? I don't believe that's ever a good thing, though some would disagree with me. You're all going to end up in leadership positions, and those positions do bring with them a certain amount of power. But if this is your main driver, you're not likely to make a very good leader. Dumbledore again said, perhaps those who are best suited to power are those who never sought it. And the great science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke said something very, very similar. Perhaps it's a little bit of an overstatement, but those who seek power for their own sake or for self-aggrandizement should be treated with caution. Leadership is a privilege, and it brings with it great responsibilities. It's a service, and if exercised without integrity, it is dangerous. Which brings me to the 4th of Kennedy's attributes, integrity. What is integrity? If you want to define something, of course, you go immediately to Google, so I'll now start to quote Google for this one, which states that integrity can be defined as the practice of being honest and showing consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral principles and values. A person with high integrity takes responsibility for their own actions, puts others' needs before their own, helps those in need, is honest, shows respect, is humble, admits when they are wrong, is kind, and is reliable. Actions carried out with integrity will always lead to aberrant outcomes. Wearing inappropriate shoes, choosing the wrong career or the wrong place to live seldom have moral implications, but how you conduct yourself, what motivates you to make certain decisions, how you treat other people all have moral implications. And if those choices are made with no integrity, your reputation, quite rightly, will suffer. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in interesting times. In the past 3 years, we have experienced drought, devastating bushfires, floods, pandemic, floods, more floods, a pandemic, and did I mention more floods? We've seen public trust in political establishments being eroded, and we've seen community leaders step into the breach. This is you. You are the future community leaders. Back in August, when Lismore flooded for the first time, people were homeless. They were without food, they were without shelter. They were lost. The editor of the local Koori Mail and her staff found a large tent. They set up a food bank come drop-in centre, and they provided sustenance. But far more importantly, they provided a safe place for the people who had lost their homes, somewhere to come to every day where they would get support in that time of need. Then when the second flood hit and the emergency services were overwhelmed, it was members of the community who rescued people from the floodwaters using any watercraft that they could find. They were actually told at one stage that no, the public should not be doing this because there were a lot of issues of liability and what should be done. They did it because they knew it had to be done. People needed to be saved. They showed true leadership. And here in Armidale, we have an exceptional community leader who set up a wonderful organisation called Backtrack, which takes kids who have dropped out of education and are in danger of ending up in juvenile detention. The kids are offered a safe place, an education that is tailored to their needs, and that offers, most importantly, hope for the future. And it was all because Bernie Shakeshaft saw a need and he found a way to help. A true leader with high integrity. As you leave here and you move into jobs in the community, you will take on leadership roles. I know you will do it with courage, with good judgment, with dedication, and especially with integrity. I'd like to congratulate you all on what you have achieved, and I wish you all the very best for what you will achieve in the future. Good luck.
Thank you, Annabelle. It's nice to have you back here on these hills, and we hope you come back again. It is now my pleasure to invite Hattie Oates to perform for the ceremony, please. Thank you.
Breathing from a hole in my lung, I had known the faces in front of me, racing through a void in my head to find traces of a good luck academy. Ooh, Sparks ignited, trading for thought about no one and nothing in particular that the sick and socket and drove. Resent nothing, a goodwill inside of me. Waking up low with a fever, walking in a straight line, set me on fire in the evening. Everything will be fine. Waking up low in the morning, walking in a straight line. And lately I'm a desperate believer, walking in a straight line. I don't need no time to say. There's no change in yesterday. If I keep walking walking in dark, keep talking in straight lines. Waking up low with a fever, walking in a straight line. Set me on fire in the evening, and everything will be fine. Lately I'm a desperate believer, walking in a straight line. Set me on fire in the morning, walking in a straight line.
Thank you, Hattie, very much. I now call upon the Chair of the Academic Board, Professor Robin Bartell, to present the graduates.
Would the graduates please stand? Chancellor, I submit to you those graduates, as set out in the program, who have been admitted to their respective academic degrees and awards in absentia.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I congratulate and celebrate with you our graduates on the conferral of their respective degrees and awards.
Would the graduates please be seated? Would the graduates who are also receiving a New England Award please stand? Chancellor, the New England Award is granted to selected graduates who have demonstrated outstanding service to the university and wider community and commitment to others. It is a non-academic award given by the university in recognition of the skills, attributes, leadership and personal qualities that are developed through extracurricular activity, community membership, voluntary work and good citizenship. Today, the university is proud to be presenting one of our graduates with this award.
Through your actions to achieve this New England Award, you have shown yourself to be a high-achieving, proactive and outward-looking member of the university community. The university is proud of the relationships we have developed with many organisations across Australia and in fact around the world as a result of your efforts. On behalf of the Council and the entire university community, I extend to you our hearty congratulations.
Would the graduate please be seated? Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you all those graduates admitted to academic degrees and awards, commencing with those graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy who are able to be present at this ceremony. Doctor of Philosophy, Anne Jean Brimhall, also graduating with Graduate Certificate in E-Learning, an exploration of the relationship between counterfactual thinking and depression in the Philippines. Richard Kai Chung Lau, Mental Suffering, Interpretations and a Counselling Framework, a mixed method study in Hong Kong. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health, Professor Jennifer Williams, to present those graduates admitted to degrees and awards, commencing with the degree of Master, who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Master from the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Master of Nursing Practice, Juna Adhikari Dahal. Aprilyn Pellingen Amado. Jasmine Mayos Astudillo. Surendra Banstola. Poonam Bartola. Rama Bastola. Shafal Bandri. Akriti Bhattarai. Benita Bakarai. Maria Desiree Perpetua Bake Binuya. Sajani Chakradhar Mahajan. Radha Chowdhury. Yanshang Deng. Ambika Devkota. Monica Dakal. Kalpana Jamir. Jelena Giri. Anna Rechi Samosa Gobui. Also receiving the New England Award, Richard Thomas Habana. Ashna Kaki. Sabina Kaki. Anushka Karel. Sudiksa Khatri. Cha Shun Kuo. Lorraine Vializa Kutondo. Zhu Li. Rahisha Mahajan. Anita Mahajan. Kritika Mahajan. Sheetal Mahajan. Preeti Neopan Karel. Sachita Parajuli Adhikari. Apsara Podel. Susmita Pokarel Bista. Priyanka Pokhrel. Yamuna Pun. Jyoti Rai. Sabina Roca. Kusum Sedhai. Anju Shretter. Sweta Shretter. Prajeep Shretter. Jyoti Shretter Kaki. Srijana Suba. Anita Subedi. Samita Tapa. Chaju Weng. Anisha Kadka. Sunita Acharya. Zuchu Feng. Anjana Kaki. Vikram Shretter. Anusa Pudel Subedi. Master of Professional Psychology, Gina Geraldine Clement. Hakit Kaur Sandhu. Master of Social Work Professional Qualifying, Claire Georges. Sabita Tapa. Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those graduates awarded the Graduate Diploma from the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Graduate Diploma in Psychology, Avi Bokta. Gabrielle Mary Cook. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the Head of School of Rural Medicine, Associate Professor Michelle Guppy, to present those graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor from the School of Rural Medicine. Ria Dabari Kol. Catherine Wing Yi Lung. Chloe Caitlin McKenzie. Sarah Amelia Shearer McIntyre. Emma Jane Cummings. Jane Veronica Mary Kelly. Phoebe Jean Lewis. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the Head of the School of Health, Professor Jane Clark, to present those graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor from the School of Health. Bachelor of Pharmacy with honours, Mario Gabala. Bachelor of Nursing, Babitra Amgai Kanal. Renu Bharti. Brittany Morgan Gimson. Ranju Lamachan Bastakoti. Ruby Manandar. Leonie Ann McCombs. Renu Nasutu. Tina Jane Reid. Mingma Sherpa. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the Head of School of Psychology, Professor Einar Thorstenton, to present those graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor for the School of Psychology. Bachelor of Psychological Science, Talia George. Jody Ellen Millerchip. Lynn Montgomery. John Ryan. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards from the Faculty of Medicine and Health to graduates who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Congratulations. I now invite Desiree Benoit, Master of Nursing Practice, to deliver the vote of thanks on your behalf. Thank you.
To the respected Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Council members, local elders, distinguished guests, academic staff, fellow graduates, families, and friends, good afternoon. It is with great pleasure and honor to be asked to propose a vote of thanks on this summer graduation of our beloved alma mater. This graduation is a significant occasion in a very special way, as 80 graduates celebrate their achievements. As an international student who came all the way to Australia to enrich and enhance my knowledge and skills in my chosen career, this day is indeed a revelation of our hard work and sacrifices that we must endure in order to reach our goal. An immense congratulations to my fellow graduates for this momentous accomplishment. It is often said that gratitude is the attitude that takes you to your altitude. Thus, on behalf of all the graduates of the University of New England present here today, I take this opportunity to thank all of you for the help and support you have provided us over the years. Allow me to express my heartfelt thanks to our guest speaker for gracing this precious event of our education journey. Thank you for your inspiring message. We also remember to express our genuine gratitude to those who had supported us and guided us in many, many ways, from our mentors, professors, lecturing staff, the library and support staff, and most especially to our families and loved ones. The pandemic has greatly impacted our studies, but we have been very fortunate to be supported by a team of dedicated and experienced mentors who, with their knowledge and expertise, has provided us deep-rooted foundation in our various degrees and fields of study. They have nurtured us with much-needed knowledge and skills that help us emerge as highly competent graduates ready to face the professional world. They have not only taught us how to use our critical thinking abilities, but at the same time, they taught us how to act according to the UNE core values. We thank our academic heads and coordinators for looking out for us in whichever way they can. We also express our thanks to the admin staff, efficient librarians, IT and support staff who supported us when we were navigating our way in the UNE system. We also do not forget the people behind the preparations of making this magnificent event come into its fulfillment, the graduation staff. For many years, we have waited for this day to come, for us to celebrate as one with the community and our families. Thank you for the effort and involvement. We are deeply thankful for your support. To our friends, families, and loved ones, who some of them cannot be here physically with us today, we say thank you, and in my native tongue, maraming salamat. Thank you for keeping up with us, especially when we were so stressed that we could not see life beyond our essays and assessment deadlines. You have stood with us when we are completely drained of energy and patience, especially when we must juggle between working and meeting our deadlines. Without your unconditional love and support, we could not have survived a day. We owe this to you. And to my fellow graduates, today we celebrate a significant milestone in our lives as our achievements and sacrifices has been recognized and celebrated. As neurologist Oliver Sacks once said, nothing is more wonderful or more celebrated than something that will unlock a person's abilities to allow him to grow and think. This university has provided us the education we have aimed for, and that education has now come with responsibility. That is, to be able to apply our knowledge and skills in real-life situation, in the professional world, and to see things from a global perspective with a social conscience. Education is indeed a gift that drives us into future as we pursue diverse changes in our world. As we have received our degrees and diplomas, it does not make us the smartest people here around today, but rather we reflect that none of us is smarter than all of us. Our achievements should not separate us from others, so we need to continue building bridges between us and others. In real world, this is called team building and networking. And in life, it is called family, friends, and community. We need to treat everyone with mutual respects and as equals. Finally, I appreciate having had this moment. It has been an honor. It was good to be here. I love UNE. It was not easy because if it was, it's probably boring. We were not pampered or spoon-fed. We endured, and together we emerged. We have emerged as one piece, whole and complete. And so I say, thank you, Lord, and congratulations, everyone. May the University of New England continue to produce graduates like us. God bless, and again, maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Desiree. I said congratulations earlier, and I really meant it. In a way, we think of you as our COVID mob. You've really had to endure things that no other graduates in the past have ever had to do, and it was hard enough for them to get here. You've done a superb job through tenacity, drive, persistence, just to arrive where you have. And we're very glad to see you back here, because we do believe that every graduate deserves today and to be able to celebrate with their fellow graduates and with their families. So thank you for coming. It was a great pleasure to have you. To your family and friends, I know they've all helped you in many ways, whether it be looking after the kids, putting a meal on the table, maybe helping with a bit of rent, moving back in with mum and dad, I don't know, a whole variety of things. But you probably wouldn't be here today without assistance from them. So if you could please stand and face your family and friends and thank them in the normal way. Thank you. Righto. There is a couple more things. One, you've joined an extraordinary family. It's called the Alumni of the University of New England. It's a worldwide family. If you haven't joined, please do. We'd like to know where you are so we can find out what you're doing, and we like to be able to tell you what we're doing. Also, it's a worldwide club in many ways, a friendly place, a friendly club. If you are somewhere that you really don't know anybody, find out from the alumni if there's a graduate there. They may be able to help you in all sorts of ways. So if you'd like to join, this is a bit of a plug, but just up the back, behind Bullamimba, there's a tent with alumni on it, and it's free. I would like to thank, for the last graduation ceremony today, the people that have put this ceremony together, whether it be the people who look after the grounds, the people who put the tents up, security, St John's Ambulance, the staff of UNE Life, who've worked for weeks to make sure that this looks magnificent, runs smoothly, and helps you enjoy it with your family and friends. And I think you have to agree that they've done a superb job. So thank you very much to the staff of the University of New England who've made today happen. Before I close this ceremony, I'd like to invite our graduates to process after the academic procession. And I will now declare this ceremony closed and ask you to stand for the academic anthem. Thank you.
So down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. If you're so smart, then tell me why you're still so afraid. Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? Better cool it off before you burn it out. Got so much to do and only so many hours in the day. But you know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Oh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? So slow down, you're doing fine. Can't be everything you wanna be before your time. It's so romantic on the borderline tonight. Tonight, oh, and too bad, but it's the life you lead. So ahead of yourself, you forgot what you need. You see when you're wrong, you know you can't always see when you're right. You're right, oh, you got your passion, you got your pride. But don't you know that only fools are satisfied? So dream on, but don't imagine now all come true. Oh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you crazy child. Take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while. It's alright, you can afford to lose a day or two. And you know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Oh, when will you realize? Why don't you realize?